Good morning, and welcome to beautiful Barbados. Have an overcast morning, quite the difference compared to yesterday. Yesterday was a brilliant East Coast sunrise. Today, lots of cloud and stuff, so we decided to stay close to home, but also go somewhere that is notorious for perfect conditions at a low tide. We're going to let you enjoy some of that in a moment. I don't know if any of you have guessed where we are. I know for sure some people may recognize us outside Reef. But some of you may not recognize where we are. We are in the area known as Worthing. We're just up to the east of what we call 𝐾𝐿. And that would be that strip of beach down there, also referred to as Worthing, but we call it 𝐾𝐿 because of the name of the hotel you see on the absolute end of here. You all know that's changed names, however, us surfers still refer to these areas, or beach people still refer to them as the original names. So even although we get a name change of hotels or some place like that, for example, we still call Miramar, which is now the Royal Pavilion, etc. Good morning to each and every one of you all. We'd actually want to start right down at 𝐾𝐿 in the bottom corner by Blue Orchid. However, unfortunately, the tide going wrong here, although it is low and it's getting lower, there's still a good surge going on there, and we did check and there are quite a few rocks exposed in that general area there that are not quite covered by sand this morning. So we are starting a little further up for you. Beautiful morning here in Barbados. You'll see the crane in the distance. That will tell you where the Caribbean Hotel used to be. That's right by Blakey's. That will give you an understanding of where we are in the coastline. The point that you're seeing closer to us there, just around the corner itself, is Champers, and then into Rockley Beach itself. And as I said before, this is 𝐾𝐿 area, also referred as Worthing. Actually, all the area we're in is called Worthing, but we have definitive beaches that we call them. So we're going to enjoy a little walk this morning, enjoy bringing some peace and serenity from Barbados. I'm sure you've enjoyed the waves slapping on your shore this morning. Some of you may have thought, oh, he's on the west coast today. Well, no, we're not on the west coast. We're actually on the most, or I should say the best beach in the world. That is what we have called this area. You will find that on all of our vlogs, etc. We've taken a walk here. We've not been here for a little while, so it should be quite interesting today. Of course, I have with me this morning, keeping my companionship, 𝗣𝗟𝗃𝗃 girl, we can call her that today, 𝗣𝗟𝗃𝗃. Good morning to Cheryl and everyone else that's on here. Not singing out anyone, but your name just popped up on my screen. I don't get to see too much of it. I just saw that fly on by. And Lady V, good morning to you as well. What a beautiful day in Barbados. Alright, so let's take us in the calmness and the peace and the serenity as we say our serenity prayer this morning. Those who'd like to join us, please do. It's a prayer for calming and peace. Yesterday I got a little distracted on it. Not really distracted, but I had a lot of thoughts going through my mind. I was trying to bring them out at the same time. Today we'll try and do our best to get it correct for you. Although I say it numerous times, it does happen. We've been doing that for almost 20 months, actually more than that, over 2 years now. And that's the first time that I had that. But as I said before, I was reflecting. You would have seen from the photos and the morning how beautiful it was. I was just in my own zone at that time. So good morning to you again. If you'd like to say surrender prayer, please join us now. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Your will, not ours, be done. Amen. Sky this morning, absolutely beautiful creations by the master, of course, himself. Beautiful morning. As you would know, at this time of the year and later on in the summer, like we go into September and October before we get any big swells, this sand will rebuild here. I don't know if it's going to be all sand going wrong here this year, because I really haven't seen this much depleted last year or the year before. So I'm not sure if we'll get sand right around, but at low tide, super low tide, you will be able to walk. But remember, you're going to need your beach shoes in areas like this area, because there are some of these coral stone rocks that have been dropped out here. I won't call these armored stone, because these are actual coral stone themselves. These are being dropped out here, so you've got to be careful when you're walking through this section. Hence the reason we're not doing it with our equipment this morning. So that we start there right. I'm going to start off with a view of the most handsome and amazing scenery you'll find in Barbados. Of course, that would be me. In the background here, that changes the beauty. But anyhow, we'll talk about her later. I don't put her any focus too much because she's been giving me a little bit of trouble this morning. So I'm trying to keep the camera off her and hopefully I'll be able to keep the microphone away from her because she's being very troublesome. But good morning to each and every one of you all. It's a pleasure to walk with you this morning. It's an absolute blessing to wake up and be able to have friends and family and loved ones who are in the same kind of mind thought as I am, which is looking for peace and love and happiness today. We wake up this morning looking first of all to bring serenity and peace to ourselves, and then we look to share love and kindness all around us, and that's what we do. That's what the EMC does. It is a beautiful gathering of people. As I said before, all of a similar mind. People have come on here, have come on because they've been recommended by their friends or they've stumbled across us and have thought this would be interesting. We don't do an advertising, so we don't get a multitude of people coming on. We get people who are referred on. It's sort of like by attraction. You know, that is what we try to do. So good morning to each and every one of you all. We are walking along a little point here. A lot of sand has developed in some of these areas already. You'll see it as we walk up. We haven't been here for quite a few weeks now. So we're going to show you the difference of how it is now versus how it has been. We couldn't really have walked around right where we are right now. We're by this point. For those of you that remember here, I would say in the late 90s, you will remember that beach used to come all around here in Drama, right by where these condos are being built here. This is where we used to drive in and park. Some of us, if you want to be on this section, we park down here, walk down onto the beach that ran from where these rocks are, right around the outside of where that groin is, and up along the outside of the other groin. So the beach here you see massive in those days. Prior to that, there was no beach at all in these general areas there, especially in front of the Royal Bliss, etc., which was shadow blind at that time. I'll show you more of that as well. So it has changed a lot. We have seen the drop in these groins just after we had the hurricanes in around 2004 and stuff. We saw a depletion of almost the entire beach, and it continuously happened and just progressively disappeared over the years. And then the government came along and dropped off these groins, and I would have to say the NCC dropped these groins, which have saved a lot of the beach. Unfortunately, we still get spring tides and stuff that come up here and move all of the sand, so that can happen as well. It's beautiful down here though. This is one of my favorite beaches on the island. Of course, you all know I call it the best beach in the world. It has lots of memories. I've met a lot of friends and family down here. I've met a lot of people down here. I've spent many treasured years in these locations. This was my original office here. I used to like sit right here under some coconut trees. I had a lot more coconut trees in this area here. I remember when these were planted, when I was pushing some of these one side to put my umbrella up, as you can see, they're now mature trees. So I'll tell you how long I've been coming to this beach as well. Long time. 𝐶𝐿 mentioned that specifically this morning because one of our family have been in contact with me asking me about what it looks like where it is. So this morning you're going to get a glimpse of it. A lot of sargassum, not a lot. I would have to say a reasonable amount of sargassum has washed in on this beach, especially as we're walking up here. We're sinking down to our ankle deep on certain occasions, and that's because the sargassum has been covered by the sand, which is a good sign again too. It also helps to hold the sand in place. That will rot and decay and go. So in the next month or two, you won't see any sargassum in this section already. The sea is looking relatively clear at the moment. I don't see any patches coming down. I see some on the intersection with the shore break. That's obviously the high tide pulled it out there and it's settling there. That will drift down along the coastline, possibly past Rockley, depends on the currents and stuff, and go right on down. It's a beautiful morning, serene and absolutely gorgeous. You will remember, if you were here a long time ago, we would have been on very dry sand here. They actually would have had beach volleyball poles put up here. A lot of the guys like Wayne from Atlantis and some of the other guys used to come here and enjoy the beach volleyball and stuff. Had a great time here in the earlier days. All here would have been volleyball, beach volleyball courts way out. This would all have been dry sand in those days. But like I said, it goes and comes. However, if you were to go on the reef now, you will find majority sand out there. You'll also find the lagoon here not nearly as deep as it used to be. The sand has shifted out. I do not know, but as a general thought of mine from being around the sea for a little while, so I'm not saying it's right, but this is my thought, is because of all the groins and all the beaches that have been built above, the entire circulation of sand has been impacted, and therefore the sand is now dropping in the bay here itself, or the lagoon, and on the reef, which is killing the reef. We've also seen a lot of problems with the reef over the last few years as well. All the fans and coral sea fans, etc., that are out there bringing coral and stuff. You don't see any of that really. It's pretty much dead now. A couple of pockets are trying to come back again, but at the moment. Really looking dismal if you go out there. Snorkeling not that great, very few fish really, not too much action on the reef itself as there used to be years ago. There are also pockets of reef all along on the inside section here that you would find fish, and then in little sand holes in between them, which were obviously underwater. There were beautiful little like pools and lagoons out here as well. This place used to be thriving with boats. You used to have numerous boats out here. I would say maybe 15-20 boats in this general area. Actually had a houseboat out here at one time. As I said, inside here is a lot shallower than it used to be before, and that's because the sand is no longer coming in at the moment. I don't know if it's a general disruption and different currents at this time of the year or what, but I have not seen the sand making any movement coming in really. Just a little bit on the inside section. We'll show you in a minute's time. You're going to see a red flag on the end here. That red flag flies majority of the year, and that's because that is where the deep current or the deep channel goes wrong, where the boats would exit this lagoon. So the sea that comes in here sort of like rushes around that point. So that red flag is not really that the outer sea conditions are dangerous, but this immediate area, not dangerous to a swimmer, but I would say a big concern for people who are not very sturdy at swimming or very good at swimming, and also that are unable to swim, because you will get caught in the channel that goes around there. Right now it's not too bad, but in a little while that's going to start to pick up, and you will see around this point here itself it will fly. It does drop you, or it starts to ease off around that boat just below. So if you ever get caught in that, don't panic. Just swim like towards the coastline, and you will get pulled into the beach on the lower section from the coral sands. It's a beautiful morning. Dennis, I see you got a lot of rain in St. Joseph, buddy. We stayed on this side this morning to hope to try and capture a little bit of time with some fair weather before it starts to break again. But there are a lot of dark clouds all around. We're feeling little sprinkles. We did start late this morning, although our driver is trying to say it was an excuse. It was a reason, not an excuse, and that was because it was extremely dark. As you can appreciate it, we started about 10 minutes later than the sunrise time, and it was still considerably dark as it is right now. Bigger and bigger splatters are coming out, feeling at the moment. Alright, this used to be known as Sandy Beach, where we are. As I mentioned, in days before the 90s, mid-90s to later 90s, there was no beach in this, or very little beach in this general area. In front there, we've seen those coconut trees. They're all, since the sand has dropped back in here. You know, there were no trees there whatsoever prior to the 90s. All those coconut trees were gone. Water used to hit the breakwaters in front of crystal waters, and they had a beach down here. So we call this section Sandy Beach. You will hear me refer to Sanitary Grove. That was because there were 5 coconut trees were planted in that immediate area there. They were planted by the Sanitary family out of Quebec. That is out of Quebec in Canada. The Granby, they have come down here over the years, had planted the trees. Unfortunately, over the last few years, we've had some unusual spring tides, some big swells, some close shaves with some tropical storms, etc. that did all the erosion up here. All those trees are down. The only one is one remaining there now. This one that you're seeing here, half cracked off, that was cracked. Storm back, I think it was at least storm back in about 2 or 3 years ago. 2 years, just over 2 years ago. Sands, we've talked a lot about Mango Bay and 𝐻𝐿 on the west coast. These are all affiliated. This is their other hotel, which is on the south. It's affiliated with Mango Bay. Both of them are all inclusive. You can be on either one or the other. I do not know about the interchange in between the two. I'm not too sure about how they do that, but I'm pretty sure that if you talk to them and they have availability in room, that you would be able to go from one to the other, even if it's just for the day itself. But you can check with them on that. Great facility. They offer everything as you can imagine all the inclusive hotel would offer. Very nice. It's remained the same kind of sea footprint that it had before. They have gone up on some structures like this one here, and also on the inside section there, and the rooms are basically the same size they were, but they have been beautified and modified. A lot of lovely furnishing and stuff. You can get some live bands down here as well. This is their restaurant area, and there's a pool just up in the center between the actual structures itself. You can see a lot of sand is here, but remember, we are looking at what is low tide right now. This is going to be a very low tide today at around 8:37 or somewhere around 8:30. So as you can appreciate, it's going to get lower and lower as the morning goes on. Our usual landmark, water-based landmark, is back here. We have one on the west coast. It is a yellow boat in Fitz Village area. So whenever I'm telling anybody we're at Fitz Village, they say, well, just keep driving until you see a big yellow catamaran. Well, you know you're at Sandy Beach as long as you see Scotch and soda. It was missing because it was used in Outer Bank Street. So it was missing from here for a period of time. However, it is back again. So this looks like how it has looked for almost all the years. Just quite a few boats that are usually in this general area. as you can appreciate, we are in hurricane season, so if people are pulling up their boats and there's no activity, because most of these are actual rental boats, so they're like for charters, fishing charters and sailing, etc. So if you pull up your boat for the hurricane season, if there was a threatening system recently, no one's going to be in a hurry to put them back down because we're still in the hurricane season. We did talk just now about the building of sand, a lot of building of sand. You will remember quite well that last time we were down here, these here were all exposed, all the root system of these. You can see up above where the roots are showing. So all that is fresh sand that's come up here around these trees. I'm so happy to see this here because I was fearful, real fearful of these trees. We've lost a few last year. You can see some of them are in some precarious angles. There's the possibility of losing more. Right now there is sand around them, which hopefully will hold them and stuff. The root on the inside of these here is the only real support for them now, because the majority root is under them, and to the seaside have all been eaten out and rotted out. So they're actually holding on right now, but I'm so happy to see them under sand. If you had been here, say about 2 months ago, you would have seen these here were like 3-4 foot above the sea level, and all underneath was just roots with no sand around them. So that's coming back. Those of you that know Crystal Waters, you will notice there's a big new tent here for the Barbecue 101. Massive tent that's being put up. That is new for that facility. Crystal Waters carries tons of entertainment. You could check their website for further information. I'm not too sure of all of these schedules that they offer, but maybe you could check their website and see some will be affected by summer as well with a drop off. So check them out, Crystal Waters Beach Bar and Restaurant. Above we have the Royal Bliss. Royal Bliss was Chateau Blanc. It has been taken over by, I would have to say, a charming couple. I'm not saying I'm walking in front of their property. I'm telling you, they're a charming couple. I know them well. I do love them. The grassroots people, they actually were out here every day working and sweating along with the crews that they had doing the construction and the maintenance on it. They themselves were out here pushing pan carts and taking up with shovels and stuff. So you understand, they're hands-on people. They're all about good service and love and kindness. I will tell you that every time I've seen them, I felt nothing but a positive spirit. So if you're looking for somewhere to stay in this immediate area, Royal Bliss, please have a look at their website. They've done a lot of work on the inside. Those of you who have been here before I went out Chateau Blanc need to definitely look at that, because everything on the inside has changed. The outer shell may look the same, but trust me, the finishes inside there, top class finishes, very, very lovely setup. And they've also changed the entire decking area. We haven't actually caught them on a morning because they like to party and sleep in. Yes, I have said that about you on my vlog. So I know you probably were working late last night, but that is going to be my version of this story. Good morning to each and every one of you all. This is beautiful Worthing Beach again. This is what we call the St. Lawrence Lagoon. It is the only natural lagoon in Barbados. It is surrounded by a reef on the outside section. They have 3 channels. Well, only 2 are being used now. But they have 3 channels that you can exit this lagoon if you had a small boat. As I said, only 2 are being used right now. The center one here has a lot of sand in it, so you really can't get through that anymore. Because as I said before, the massive beach that was here is all in this lagoon and on the outer reef, or majority of it. It just hasn't been replenished by anything because I think the whole current system is being changed by the beaches to the east of here. That's my opinion. I don't know if that's right or not. As I said, just a layman's thought. Right here, just to give you an understanding of how big this beach used to be, and this is not an exaggeration, that groin out there would have been all sand. All sand between there and this groin would have been the beach back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And then right up here to beyond that groin, well beyond that groin, would have been sand. It was such a big beach that we actually used to drive our vehicles across the sand way out there and park and have a day at the beach, a beach party or whatever. However, that, as you can see, has changed tremendously. Remember that prior to those dates in the late 90s and early 2000s, there was no sea here at all. The sea used to actually come up at low or high tide and hit this wall, this breakwater right here in front of Royal Bliss. And there was no sand here whatsoever. People will remember those days. Actually, if you want to enter Crystal Waters in the early days, water would be right up there by the walls as well. You would have to come up steps just over there by where you see those kayaks. That's where you would have had to come up through steps onto Crystal Waters property itself. So I will tell you how the sand has moved and come and replaced itself here over the years. I'm looking forward to the day that it actually does replace itself fully out here. I don't know if that will ever happen. It all depends on what happens around here. But right now, I don't think that's going to happen immediately. Absolutely beautiful. Now many of you know about a fish pot and stuff. Just want again to let some folks here know about it in case they're not familiar. This is known as a fish pot. These are dropped along the reefs in Barbados or in banks just on the reefs. These are catching fish that swim across the reef itself. The method behind it is it's like what we call chicken wire. All this wood would be out of the mangrove because it stands up, mangrove swamp or swampy areas because it stands up to the seawater and it does not rot and stuff. Really has a long life to it. What the actual technique for catching fish is, you'll see a funnel going in here. You'll also see at the end of this funnel outlet right in the center of the camera. See fish swim in here behind these. Anything that they have chumming in the actual fish pot, they swim up and into the pot and then they can't find their way back out. They're not smart enough. You can see it starts from a large size of a funnel, works its way up through the outlet, and then when they go in there, with the outlet of course pointing up, they will go in there and then they can't find their way back out. When they're swimming back out, they're looking for the shortest method, which should be through this wire. So fish pots are usually hauled. They are usually hauled once a day. Some people leave them longer than that because the fish can actually live in the fish pot as it's in swimming area and in seawater. So they don't really die per se. It's usually, as I said, on a reef where it would have plankton and stuff they can eat. So they don't have to be hauled every day, but a lot of people do haul them every day or every other day as well. But this is one of the methods that are used for catching fish in Barbados. It used to be very, very popular years ago. The white disc you're seeing in the bottom, that is to help the fishermen identify it from when they're on the water level looking down. They will see that as well, because a lot of them don't have buoys up. They usually use the landmarks of trees and buildings on the Barbados side, and then they will come back and look for the general area and find those by the white disc and stuff they're put in it. That is usually what those are used for. Alright, so rain is getting a little bit heavy. Good morning, gentlemen. How are y'all? Y'all want to shout to the world and say hey, good morning to all of our friends and family? As usual. These folks here, as y'all would know, are regular walkers. How y'all this morning, man?
Yeah, we good, man.
Man, I see the rain ain't stop you at all.
No.
Yeah, man. Man, no, man. Over here it's too beautiful.
Yes.
So I noticed I had a little sand rebuilding over the last 2 weeks out here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to see that, really, you know. Yeah, hopefully. And the trees, like, they're going to handle another year for sure. Right. Man, good to see you. What was your name again, my brother?
Roy.
Roy, and you are? Carl? Yeah. Carl and Roy. All right, well, thanks, man. I hope your friends will see you on here this morning. We'll tag you and let them know you see you.
All right.
Have a good day, all right?
Yeah,
take care, man. Blessings, man. All right. Yeah, so everybody here waving off our family. You know, there's another family member up there working diligently on the top section. He's busy. We're not going to interrupt him because he's got to get ready before all the guests come out and stuff. We're going to take our way a little bit further up now. Rain's getting a little heavier. Pitter patter. I know my co-star is going to come dashing for her umbrella. So whoop up. Yeah, brother. Nice, man. You like your umbrella? Or you're okay for now? You're okay for now? All right. Okay, we're going to need that umbrella soon. Okay, I can see it coming. So point has disappeared. That's how we usually tell when there's a wind like this or the east or southeast that the rain is going to be here in a few seconds, and that is because South Point Lighthouse will disappear from view. So I'm just going to go and give her this 𝗪𝗏 force field so that she will be dry in case she needs it, and I will keep mine in my back and I will use that if I need to, but it's starting to get a little heavier. Alright, so let's go up here a little bit so we can also show you 𝐾𝐻 Beach Bar. Good morning, Susan and Debbie. Good morning to you all. 𝐾𝐻 Beach Bar, another one of the facilities up here that you can have entertainment. Again, I'm not too familiar with all of their activities, especially at this time of year, so have a look at their website. That would be the 𝐾𝐻 Beach Bar and Restaurant. Spot's office, anyone know Spotter? That's where Spotter operates from. Spot is a notorious big wave surfer years ago. You know, I remember him at Super Bowl dropping in some massive barrels in times gone by. He also used to run Universal Gym here in Barbados, and he's been on this beach. I had to call this his real office because this is where Spotter has been. Wow, I don't know, man, maybe 30 years or so. He wasn't making this beach at all in any condition. Okay, so I'm just going to pull out the 𝗪𝗏 force view, so excuse the jitteriness. Just want to make sure we can continue this here without any interruptions, hopefully. Beach looking extremely good today. As you will see, the majority of the big bottles that are used here are big containers here that are usually filled with sand to hold the umbrellas in place. Majority of them are being kept off of the beach until they're used. They're like little sections up there put together. So thank you very much, Ning Ning and crew, for doing that, because the beach certainly looks a lot better when you're walking it like this. For those of you that stay at Waters Meet, that's Waters Meet there. I know there are quite a few people that come on here that are family and very close friends of mine that stay there every year. So as you can see, we're ready for you again. Get ready to come down the road because it's time to come back to Barbados and share your joy with us again. So as we said before, this was a massive beach. Now this groin is closer in, way closer in than the actual beach used to be. I would say the beach used to go almost twice another one of these groins on outside of this here, pretty close to that. That was when it was at its absolute biggest. All along here was dry sand. As I said, we used to drive all out here where the sea is now and have our beach picnics. Just to let you know, the first wet fete, I'm speaking on the correction, but I'm pretty sure it was the very first wet fete in Barbados. That's a crop over activity, was held right here where we're standing now. All this area was chain link fenced off, and this is where we had our big wet fete with thousands attending it. So you can understand how big this beach would have to have been to be able to accommodate a wet fete. Just amazing. We also have had the Highland Games here. I remember I participated a few times out here in the Highland Games, and that was in the early days when the Highland Games first came here. We used to actually have the 𝐴𝐿 was the base, 𝐴𝐿 Beach Bar, and we used to have our activities out here. We used to have different walls to climb in those days. Rock climbing or wall climbing was not something that was served up too often, but we used to do that here in those games, tug of wars, etc. Of course, my team always won because I was on it, not because of any other members, but because I was on it. And anyone that says differently, obviously your memory is fading, because I only tell the truth and the whole truth. So here we go, beautiful this morning. As you can see, rain is coming down. You can hear it pitter-pattering at the moment. That's not going to stop me from talking. You would know better than that. But what we are getting are some gusts here that are going to make it a little more difficult. So we're going to move a little closer onto the tree line so that we can actually try and get away from some of the blasts that's coming down here at the moment. You'll see a lot of changes on the inside here if you haven't been out for a few years. Oh, this rain is getting nice and heavy. A lot of changes on the land side here. Where this white Jeep is parked, there was a home there for many years that unfortunately burnt down a few years back, around I think probably 2019, somewhere that time, or 18, somewhere around there. And that has been taken right down, level right down. All of the bush that was in front of here that I used to always complain about, as you can see, has been taken out from the roots. Not a leaf around, so we are able to walk this morning without having to talk about certain things in this island. I know the SGP, who is known as our secret police, she must be very offended because she used to like to talk about the bush that was here, but we're not going to talk about that this morning because it's no longer existing. What we will tell you is, glory, it is gone. Alright, a couple of developments happening here as well. Bridle Waters, we're going to take you up inside here and let you have a look at some of these buildings. These are almost all of these here have Airbnb options. Definitely directly in front of us, upstairs, downstairs, also the one in the corner as well. Around the corner is Set, who also has accommodations as well. But this is the structure that we carried when they first were digging the foundation to show you what it looked like. I just want to show you how far it has come. I would imagine this will be ready for the season for sure. You will remember the old home that used to be here, that used to rent out rooms and stuff in it. Very much different now. Beautiful. Lovely little gallery and stuff. Should be quite interesting to see how they're finalized that with the details, the finishes and the fixtures and stuff. But that is another option now for you to rent here again. And as I said before, Waters Meets over here with the front and back section, so you can rent that as well if you'd like something real beachy and very traditional style beach in Barbados. It is a heavy rain here. My co-star, as you can see, she's all protected and just wading her way through. Yeah, we're running about with two different umbrellas today. It's a little difficult to work with one in this kind of torrential rain. We did expect it to get heavy. We do know the gusts are picking up. The wind charts have been mentioned that since yesterday. Yesterday was actually perfectly timed. We knew what was going to happen today. We saw the conditions yesterday were great for the east coast, and hence that's why we went over onto that side of the island, so you could enjoy a beautiful sunrise with us. Today, you're still enjoying beautiful Barbados. We're enjoying beautiful rainy Barbados. For those of you that are on the island today, go in the sea, have a swim. It is beautiful and warm, lovely at this time. Sea conditions, as you can clearly see on the south coast, are calm. The ones in west coast are like a lake effect. It's absolutely beautiful down there as well. East coast, yesterday we saw it was quite flat or very smooth. However, today, of course, with these winds and stuff, I would expect it to be very choppy and a little bit rough. Good morning, the billionaire. I see you on board here posing a lot this week in pictures with Stephanie and family. Looking like the billionaire that you are. I guess you must have spent some dollars on those clothes. So I don't know if you're still a billionaire or if you might have slipped back into the multi-millionaire status after investing in all those garments that I saw, silk garments, etc. on your top hat and thing. I know you didn't have a top hat, but you looked as though you deserved to have one on at the time for sure. Beautiful out here. So I'm so happy to see that the yellow drums that are usually out here have been compacted into one area, or into areas that they can always bring down one or two if they need them for their umbrellas. This is a much better look to this beach, definitely. So again, kudos to Ning and his crew for doing this here. Really appreciate this a lot. Very, very rough conditions right now. Winds are gusting extremely strong. You can look at the trees and see this is just a big squall that's coming in. This is a good strong tropical wave. Expecting some thunder showers and stuff today, and you can see that is very, very likely. Now, this is going to be difficult to do, but I have to show you my beautiful self. Good morning again. I hope you all have enjoyed your walk with us. We're not going to go to the sandbar. It's getting a little bit choppy out there because of the winds and stuff, so we don't want to put the equipment under pressure or under threat. But just to show you where that is, there's a sandbar. You can quite clearly see where these swells are here on the inner section, not the outer reef. You can see where there's a cross swell coming in here. That is where the actual sandbar runs out. It's not above water level right now, however, or water level is not below it. However, that will dip, I would think, probably another hour or so to pretty much ankle deep of water, etc. But if you are in this area in Barbados at the moment, or if you're here at any time for low tide, time it well and take a walk out. You walk from this beach, say about maybe in knee deep of water till you hit the sandbar, then go up to ankle, sometimes dry in that section. Walk right out the reef, and you can walk the entire way up the reef just off of the St. Lawrence Church, St. Lawrence Church. That is just up there on the corner itself by Primo, what used to be Pisces years ago. But the sand, you will notice quite well when you walk out there, the amount of sand that's sitting around on top of the reef and around the reef. So you'll see that is mossy sand that's out there. Is no longer coming in here because the currents have been diverted per se. So from a very rainy and wet Barbados, from a ducking co-star who is hiding underneath her umbrella, of course, or she's sheltering again, blown away by the strong gusting wind, as you can see. And from myself, of course, which you just saw just now. Remember, if you are missing me, just go up on Facebook. You'll find some beautiful pictures of myself you can frame and put on your walls around home, because I know you want to beautify your home with tropical beauty. So if you take pictures of me and put them up there, you will get both tropical and beauty. To each and every one of you all, I hope you all have a great day. Remember what the EMC is all about. It's about spreading joy, peace, love, kindness, care, happiness, and goodwill to others. That is what we do on a daily basis. We do that every day of our lives. It is healing for me. This has helped me heal tremendously. Walking the journey with you all has helped me heal tremendously. And seeing you all's beautiful comments and inspiring comments and encouraging comments make it that much better. So thanks very much. If I don't answer every comment, I have changed a little bit in the fact that I also like to get out here and enjoy some of this myself. So I haven't been doing as much correspondence online, but trust me, love all of you all. I do view them, and many times, of course, as you would know, our co-star answers on my behalf. To all of you all, have a blessed day. This is rainy Barbados, but as you can see, beautiful, beautiful Barbados. Have a blessed day. Be safe to yourself, be kind to yourself, forgive yourself, love others, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Have a great day. Love you all. Catch you later.